Something for your poetry, no? Always something. I remembered no dreams this morning, but I wrote a poem, and it was something. I invested time last night submitting a story to Interim for the Place issue, and there was that strong and powerful feeling of accomplishment that accompanies doing the work of being a writer, that I only feel when I'm actually taking steps. And I want that feeling again. It's the first day of September, and for some, school starts next Tuesday. For us, we've been at it for 3+ weeks, back in the grind, back in it. My dad was in Maine skipping stones, being with the dead in their graves. Today's class felt forced. Too many questions, a sense of urgency, my clipped little way forcing it, some sense of wanting something else. Ears pressed to the ground. How many people does it take to form a circle? Heather and I formed a line, point A, point B. I forgot all my dreams. A question of names. We don't know what to write about. What do people misunderstand about us? About me? Or maybe they understand it perfectly after all. I could send a postcard to my grandpa in Hohokus. Every year he remembers my birthday and sends a card and $40, and I hardly even ever say thank you or write back. He does it every year. I'm 42 years old and he's probably 95, and every year I kind of hope he just dies soon, though I don't really know why. I like to think it's better than cruelty, the way I pretend it's just that I forgot, not that I resent him for choosing to remember me, even though I give him no good reason to. That year in college he visited, even attended one of my classes in his blue-gray, thin-clothed suit and tie. So proud, and that pride was a canary cage scraping its needles down my spine. Do canaries have teeth? Do snakes have rib cages? Heather asked, as we studied the clean white bones of the steps down through her bright sand-colored earth and her mother-body snake dream, and her shoes filled up with water and the kittens floated over, protected from harm, the way my grandfather, alive and dumb, still chooses to believe he loves me. The story in the journal my parents kept of my first few years of life surprised me. I loved my grandpa then, wanted to please him, wanted to go up to him on the pulpit. "Grandpa needs me," a little 2-year-old me said, drawing conclusions, laughing, clapping my hands. "Ride the horse to Boston, ride the horse to Lynn. Oh, be careful." That terrifying pause, and then grinding down through his knees, and his gravelly laugh as I squealed and fell in, dipped back, heart skipping a beat, breathless. Today I will ride the early bus home and walk through a damp neighborhood of weeds, and I will come to the place my grandfather's letter came in, its second trip to New Jersey and back because he sent it to my old address at first. That $40 check making its way eventually. I haven't cashed it yet. Why do I wait? Because I don't want to say thank you to a man I decided to stop loving because I grew up and realized his whiteness, his privilege, his failures to love my mother and sisters without judgment, his biases and prejudices barely disguised yet completely invisible to him. Still, he remembers me as a young someone who loved him back before I knew better. But not loving him means not loving some part of me. I wouldn't send myself a postcard either. I walk in a way that leaves faint traces of the bottom of my shoe in damp earth that anyone with feet would leave, or anyone wearing size 11 Converse made of rubber gently used. The postcard would be of the desert, though, one of those stereotypical scenes with a cactus breaking into bloom, an oversized moon and a totally black sky, flat and glossy, with no acknowledgement of colonization, like my grandpa conveniently forgetting he is an old white man. And I am a white woman who bought property with the capitalist system's bank loan. And no one should be exempt from the shards that scatter pavement from a broken bottle. Pretty much exactly like the one on the desk in front of me, containing water pumped in, like blood, from the earth.